Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I, Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development. And the reason I'm out here doing this, the reason I made this podcast in the first place is just to kind of provide the conversations for people that may be suffering out there in silence. Or for the people out there that maybe don't know who to talk to or how to put the words to what they're feeling or really just identify or understand what they're feeling, right? And so hopefully the experience I'm trying to provide basically is, I want people out there that are suffering out there like I used to be in silence to be able to hear this and basically think, shit, man, okay, I'm not alone and life can and will get better for me, right? So yeah, that's the main message I want to get across. And so if you think that people might want to, hear that, people that in your life maybe need to hear that message or maybe need to hear a show like this, please just share the show with them, help the show grow, and, maybe help them out. Give them a new perspective or just kind of a little bit of hope or just kind of like a new battle strategy, right, moving forward in life. And so today, what I wanted to chat about is kind of something that it's a perspective shift that really helped me out a lot in terms of my struggles and my battle with my mental health. And it kind of helps me out in my everyday life as well. Now, I'm going to kind of just wrap this up and put a nice little bow on it at the end, but it's still a thought process that I'm still working through, right? And so what I'm trying to figure out today, or I guess what I want to chat about with you guys is the fact that you always have a choice. And so a lot of times in life, we find ourselves in situations where it feels like we're not in control at all. It feels like everything is happening to us. It feels like everything that is every step that we take or every action we make is either the wrong one or it feels like we can't really act at all. But realistically speaking, the truth is you always have a choice, right? You might not be able to choose what happens to you, but you always choose how you react to it, right? And so you might not be in control of every single, possible factor that led you to being in the position that you're in, but you do have control of maybe how you respond to the situation. If it's a conversation, how do you respond to that person? Do you do it with anger, or do you do it with confusion, or do you do it with, interest? Are you curious to kind of figure out what they mean if they don't agree with you, instead of, trying to attack them if they don't agree with you? Are you just kind of, how do you approach the situation? How do you respond to the situation? What are your instincts telling you? I think a lot about the story that I've kind of gone over before on this podcast. And if you've heard this story before, then I apologize because I'm going to tell it briefly again. But it's an ancient, Chinese story about a farmer. And the farmer basically, what happens to him is he's a farmer, and one of his horses one day runs away. And everybody in his little village says, you have the worst luck ever. What bad luck? And he says, yeah, maybe. And then the next day, his horse comes back with a big group of wild horses. And everyone says, wow, you have so many new horses now. You're so lucky. What a good thing. And he says, maybe. And then the next day, his son, who's his only hand on the farm, is trying to tame the wild horses and falls off and breaks his leg. And everyone in the village says, shit, dude, you have the worst luck ever. And he says, maybe. And then the next day after that, the village goes to war and the army starts conscribing people in the village. And because his son is the only one that's lame because he can't walk, he doesn't get conscribed. And so everyone says, wow, what good luck. And he says, maybe. And so the point of that story is basically, you might feel emotions, you might feel a certain way about a situation or something that happened in your life, maybe an event or a conversation or maybe just about somebody in your life. But a lot of the times, you don't have to react emotionally. You can be a little bit more intentional instead of reactionary. Yeah, you want to be intentional and not reactionary, because a lot of the times, when I feel guilt or shame, or I feel like I fucked up where I shouldn't have, a lot of the times I sit up at night and I think, fuck, I shouldn't have said that to that one person. I can be a lot obnoxious. Some people are a little bit obnoxious. I can be a lot obnoxious. And so I think about that all the time. I'm like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that thing. But, that's what happens when you live reactively. When you just react to the world around you. You're not intentional with your actions, right? And so a way to get around that, a way that I'm trying to get around it is I think about, when I'm journaling or when I'm just being reflective, I think about to myself, like, how do I want to react to the people that, don't align with the way that I think, or, I might be argumentative with? How do I want to react to them? How do I want them to think of me? Or what maybe is the best way to convince them that maybe I'm right? Or, I think about all these different scenarios, and I think about all these different outcomes, and then I try and figure out the most probable or the most favorable outcome, and, I try and foresee that happening. And then that way, when I approach that situation in real life, sometimes I can stick to my plan. And then if I deviate from my plan and I act reactively, like I normally do, like a meathead, and I fuck up, then I can look back and I can compare, like, how did I want the situation to go down, and how did it actually go down? And what were some of the reasons why it went down the way that it went down? Are you able to foresee anything like this happening again? And, are you able to execute on something like if you're in a situation in your life where, you're not in control, are you able to execute on something in your life? Like try and make any change possible to kind of put yourself in a new position, to reposition yourself in life, or kind of maybe get a different perspective. I guess that's kind of the same thing. But I don't know, maybe are you able to ask for help? Or are you just stuck? Are you able to find a way, like any way, or maybe you need to accept the way that things are. Maybe you need to try and change your goals. Maybe you need to accept, and I mean, like we kind of talked about that last episode, I think. So at the end of the day, if you're stuck in a situation and you're kind of just not changing anything or not choosing any directions or not choosing anything like that, you have to understand that you always have a choice on something, and not choosing is a choice. And I think that the best way to navigate around situations like this, if you're stuck, and the reason I'm thinking about this, I guess, is because, if you don't make a choice to make a change in your life, 2022 is going to be exactly the fucking same as 2021. And you can take that however you like. Whether you're talking about restrictions or mandates, or you're talking about the progress that you made in your goals in your life. No matter what, if you don't choose to make a change, 2022 is going to be a fucking exact repeat of 2021, if not worse. So, choose to fucking make a difference. In your life, in society, to as many people as you possibly can, make a difference. And make it a fucking good one. And I think the best way to navigate through, tough times or times where you feel like you don't have a choice, when you always fucking do, is to accept as much responsibility and accountability as you fucking can. And then get comfortable there, and then accept more. And that's not a new idea. People like Dr. Jordan Peterson have been saying things like that for a couple years now. And then just be humble and disciplined to kind of set a standard and then, maintain that standard. So that's all I got for today. I just want to remind you guys and remind myself that no matter where you're at in life, you always have a fucking choice. A choice to improve your situation, a choice to fucking keep it the exact same, or a choice to make it worse. And every single action that you do, whether you say the choice or not out loud, is reaffirming that choice. So choose fucking wisely. And that's all I got. So if you got any questions, if you want to reach out, if you want to join the community that I have that's based around having these types of conversations like mental health, self-development, those types of things, we have daily chats. Reach out to me on Instagram and I'll throw you in that community. My Instagram will be at the bottom of the screen here. It's at Mark D. Henriksen. If you're just listening to the podcast version of this, it'll be in the show notes below or wherever the fuck the show notes are. And that's all I got. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a little review, leave a little comment. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do everything you possibly can to help your boy grow in the algorithm. And if you listen to the podcast version, leave a little 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what have you. I'm not a big enough show to run ads or do anything like that. So just I need you guys to help me grow. If you appreciate this message, if you think someone can heal from it or it can help them with a new perspective, then share the show, help it grow. But that's all I got. So thank you so much for those of you that do. And I love you guys, man. You guys are the reason I do what I do. So much love and peace out.